Hi, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Aligning Policy and People, Why the Time is Right to Transform Advanced Care. As Glenn mentioned, I'm Holly Fernandez-Lynch. I'm the Executive Director of the Petrie-Flom Center for Health Law Policy, Biotechnology, and Bioethics. We're a research program here at Harvard Law School dedicated to interdisciplinary analysis, scholarship, and policy work in these fields. If our center is new to you, I'd encourage you to please take a moment to review some of the materials in your registration folder, check out our website and our blog, and say hi to myself or Glenn during one of the breaks, and we're happy to tell you more. On behalf of myself and Glenn, we're really thrilled to have you join us for this inaugural event for the Project on Advanced Care and Health Policy. This project is a collaboration between the Coalition to Transform Advanced Care and the Petrie-Flom Center. Before we go any further, though, I just want to take a moment to recognize Petrie-Flom's wonderful staff, Chrissy Hutchison-Jones and Justin Leahy, as well as Mark Sterling and John Broyles from CTAC, who really worked tirelessly in a very short period of time to pull off today's event and make sure everything goes off without a hitch. Shortly, we're going to be joined by policymakers, thought leaders, family caregivers, clinicians, consumer advocates, and others who are working to identify timely, practical, and actionable opportunities to transform care for people with advanced illness nearing the end of their lives. I don't want to stand between you and those experts for too long, but I did want to take just a couple of minutes to describe the Project on Advanced Care and Health Policy, its goals, and why we at Petrie-Flom are so excited about it. So this collaboration launched just a couple of months ago in March 2016, and it seeks to study and foster the development of improved models of care for individuals with serious advanced illness nearing the end of their lives, and to apply interdisciplinary analysis to important health law and policy issues raised by the adoption of new person-centered approaches to care for this growing population. It includes a senior fellowship, public symposia and events like this one, and policy and research projects that will identify and analyze obstacles to adoption of innovative models of caring for those with advanced illness, and propose policy solutions that promote development and scaling of successful programs. The foundation for the project is the recognition that current healthcare law policy and regulation, which has been developed largely in a fee-for-service environment with siloed providers, creates barriers that may impede widespread adoption of improved models of care for those with advanced illness. This creates multiple opportunities to drive improvement, especially using the tools of law and policy. We at the Petrie-Flom Center believe that CTAC's mission to facilitate advanced care planning and better models of advanced illness care by developing structural mechanisms for change and sustainability is really an ethical imperative. We must do better by patients at the end of life, and it's not all about clinical advancement. So given CTAC's incredible convening power and substantial expertise in policymaking and driving change in this area, we could really think of no better collaborator for this work. Together, we're going to analyze various alternatives at both the federal and state level, including what regulatory frameworks can enable and support new models of care, overcome barriers to change, and provide necessary safeguards. In addition, research and policy projects expected to result from our collaboration will provide critical insights to guide policymakers, regulators, and business leaders. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce the project's inaugural senior fellow, who will be leading much of this work, Mark Sterling. So this will be a very brief introduction compared to the length of Mark's many accomplishments. But for over 35 years, Mark has been an advisor to mission-driven healthcare organizations. His experience includes serving as partner in a leading global law firm. And actually, this is how we connected with one another. It was a law firm where we both worked, but we didn't connect there. We all had to come to Harvard to connect. His experience includes, he's also been general counsel and chief strategy officer of leading healthcare services organizations providing end-of-life care, and a member of nonprofit boards of directors serving frail, elderly, and terminally ill individuals. He's a senior strategic advisor to CTAC and was recently a senior fellow at Harvard University's Advanced Leadership Initiative. And we are thrilled to now call him a Petrie Flommer as well. Mark, take it away.
Thank you, Glenn, and thank you, Holly. It's great to be here today. I'm wearing two hats today as the Senior Fellow for Petrie Flom and also as the CSO for the CTAC group, and we're really, really happy to see everyone. As the topic of this event says, today we'll hear why the time is right to transform advanced care. I believe it's also true to say that the time is right to start this project. In the last 5 years, CTAC has grown to a coalition of over 120 members, with leaders from all segments of healthcare. There's a list that shows the members of CTAC that's in your folder. Today, there's wide recognition that we have major problems with our healthcare system. We have a fragmented, siloed system. It's chaotic, it's poorly equipped to provide the care that most people want and need as they approach the last days of their lives. Patients and families are left to fend for themselves, and the costs can be staggering. These problems are extensively documented in the 2014 Institute of Medicine report, Dying in America. We know of proven ways to fix this problem. There are shining examples of evidence-based advanced care models that have shown higher quality, greater satisfaction, and lower cost. Under these models, personal values drive treatment decisions. There's a customized blend of palliative and curative care. There's interdisciplinary teams that help coordinate care across settings. And the focus of care moves from the hospital into the home and the community. Leading examples of these kinds of programs are described in the 2015 Advanced Care Project report by CTAC and AHIP, and that's available on the CTAC website. We have patients and families living with advanced illness who are forcefully advocating for change. We have new Medicare payments to physicians who engage in advanced care planning discussions with their patients. And we have new announced goals with aggressive timelines to shift to value-based care. Through this collaborative project, we can shine a spotlight on successful innovations in advanced illness care and the opportunities to expand upon them and the roadblocks that stand in the way. This project will promote solutions, developing and analyzing policies that break down the barriers and accelerate the spread of best models of advanced illness care. We're so happy to see you all here today. There's a wealth of expertise right here in this room. We hope that you will participate actively in this project and let us know if you'd like to participate further after today. We welcome your ideas for future events and for research projects. We particularly welcome your ideas and insights about policy initiatives to support improved advanced illness care. There's a sheet in your folders that you are welcome to fill out at any time during the day and leave them at the reception desk, or feel free to send an email to either to the Petrie Flom address on the website or to me personally. My address is also on the website. I want to thank you, Glenn, and I want to thank you, Holly, for your strong support for this collaboration and for serving in a leadership role for this project. As you said earlier, and you said publicly before, that we must do better for patients at the end of their lives, and you called it an ethical imperative that we do so. When noted bioethicists such as yourself say something like that, people certainly take notice and listen. A few comments about the agenda and about logistics. We've worked to pack as much as possible into what is really just a half-day event, and we're excited about the phenomenal speakers that we have here today. We will have 3 special presentations this morning, which I will come back to in just a minute. And later we'll have another one by Eric Schneiderwind, the new president of AARP. We will also have 3 panel discussions, each led by a moderator. And the moderator will reserve time for questions at the end of each. There's a mic here, and please queue up at the mic if you have a question for anybody on the panel. And then 1 o'clock, we'll finish up our program, and those doors in the back will magically part, and there will be a reception, a complimentary lunch network reception. We hope you'll stay for that and get to meet some of the others that are here today. To conserve time, we'll be dispensing with more formal introductions, and instead we'll want to use that time for a deeper dive into the topics that we'll be discussing. There's full bios for each of our speakers that are on the Petrie-Flom website. We'll start with the program with the remarks by our first three speakers, and then move right to our first panel discussion led by Marion Grant. Now in reverse order, a brief mini introduction of our first three speakers. We'll hear from Bill Novelli. Bill is a co-chair of CTAC, founder of the Global Social Enterprise Initiative at Georgetown University, and a former CEO of the AARP. Bill is a co-founder of CTAC, along with Tom Kasumpis, and we're so happy to have both of our co-founders here today from CTAC. We're also fortunate to have speaking this morning Andrew Dreyfus, President and CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts, with 3 million members. Andrew has led the way with a program called Complete Care for Advanced Illness, which provides enhanced benefits to members with advanced illness. Andrew also is collaborating on a Massachusetts Advanced Illness Initiative that can serve as a national model. And now, to lead things off, we'd like to ask Amy Berman to please come forward. Amy is the Senior Program Officer with the John A. Hartford Foundation and leads the program on developing innovative models of care for an aging population. Amy, we thank you for being here today and for speaking with us and for sharing your important and inspiring message. Please join me in welcoming Amy Berman.
Good morning, everyone. Well, I want to start out with a little rousing aerobic activity. I'd like everybody to raise their left hand. This is people, patients. I like to call them people. And I want you to raise your right hand. Providers, clinicians. I want you to put them together and see the sound that they make. That's the sound of success. That's the sound of success when they work together. I would like you now to raise that left hand again. Providers. And I want you, without hitting anyone or anything, try to make some rousing applause and see if you get anywhere with it. It's not going to happen. Now, that may sound funny, but the purpose for all of this is to say that people and providers together are able to do anything that is successful in the healthcare space, that it is a partnership, that if you want to get the rousing applause of successful care, it has to be a combination of both. We are not going to get anywhere from top-down approaches to healthcare that is driven solely by the healthcare professional, that it is in fact a partnership. So my name is Amy Berman, and I'm a Senior Program Officer at the John A. Hartford Foundation, roughly $500 million with a B, $500 million foundation that's located in New York City, a national foundation, and it's focused on improving the care of older adults. This is everything we do. And many of the models of care, much of the work that we're going to talk about today is supported by my foundation, including the brilliant CTAC, Respecting Choices, Home-Based Primary Care, the Field of Palliative Care, Conversation Project. So many of the things and people that you're going to hear from today, we are supportive of. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here because 5.5 years ago, my professional hat was moved to the side by my personal hat. I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Terminal cancer, advanced illness, serious illness. You can put your name to it. There are only 4 stages to cancer. I would be so happy if there were a 5th. This is cancer that has spread far. And it's a rare form of cancer that instead of being a lump, it's the kind of cancer that floats, and when it appears, it's already spread. So the time that you find it, my cancer, my rare form of cancer, is typically diagnosed at stage 3 or stage 4. And so I want to tell you a little bit about the difficulties. I want to get real about what it means for people to live with advanced illness and make the kind of choices about care and what we need from our clinicians, even what we need from policy. But I'm going to talk just about the human experience. So when I was first diagnosed, I went to 2 very different clinical teams. The first, my clinician asked me, what is it that you want to accomplish for your care, knowing that this is advanced cancer, that this is, an incurable cancer? And I described what I wanted as Niagara Falls. I want the Niagara Falls trajectory. So I started here feeling great, because I did. And believe it or not, I'm 5.5 years in, I still feel great. I started feeling great. And I'm going to end here. We all know what that is, right? The universal, we all end here. I wanted to go good, good, good and drop off the cliff. Give me as much of the good time and try to compress the bad time. Don't push for more bad days. That's what I described to my oncologist as I was diagnosed. I went to another oncologist to get a second opinion. I'm sure you can imagine in major illness, you oftentimes go for a second opinion. And this person never asked me, what do I want? They didn't care. It wasn't part of their workflow. This person said, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the most aggressive chemotherapy your body can handle, followed by a mastectomy, radiation, and the most aggressive chemotherapy your body can handle. We are going to fight. And I asked, is this going to cure my cancer? And the doctor said, no, but this is what I do for all my patients. And I'm quite sure it is. The original doctor is the one that I went back to receive my care. This doctor knows what I want, and the approach that this doctor has taken is to give me treatment, but only those treatments that have the least amount of side effect, giving me my Niagara Falls trajectory, helping me to live as good a life as possible for the remainder of my time. It makes sense, right? And yet it's the care that most people don't get. It's the conversation that most people don't get. Care is often not aligned with what people want. And this becomes even more important at the end of life. 70% of people want to die at home, in their pajamas, holding hands with their loved ones. And yet 70% of people die in hospitals. And of course, you would think that people would be asking about our wishes in serious illness and end of life. But that rarely happens. My foundation did a survey recently of physicians. 99% of physicians responded that they should be having the conversation. This is a nationally representative survey. 99% said they should be having the conversations, not somebody else, not somebody for them. And yet 46% said, I just have no idea what to say. So they're not having the conversation. So I want to tell you, as you listen to the discussions today, I'd like you to think about me. I have a great life, I feel well, and I have to say palliative care is part of that feeling well. So somebody who's attending to me, to my needs as a whole person. I have everything that anybody could want in terms of their care. And I am the exception to every single rule. I have better health, better care, I've saved about $1 million to date. I'm the walking triple aim. And yet most people don't get the care that I get. And yet it's so easy to do so. You're going to hear from people who are at the leading, bleeding edge of providing this kind of care, of getting it right. And getting it right in partnership with the people that they serve, understanding the values of the people that we're caring for. So this is really important. It's really important. I wish you much success for everyone in your role, participating in this program, participating in the efforts of CTAC and the Petrie-Flom Center. This is an amazing day of expertise, but I wish you also to live as well as possible every day and to be able to have the kind of care that supports it. Thank you.